Hi, this is Brett Middleton, and in the next 3 to 4 minutes I'm going to give you a sneak peek at the new Mitsubishi Lancer RalliArt, and we're very lucky the other day to get our hands on this new model, which is obviously being launched in Australia here in November 2008, and it's being rather anxiously awaited to be released. Unfortunately a few delays along the way, but when this new model goes on sale, it's certainly going to give the WRX model a bit of a hurry up. Now, the first thing you can see in the photos is the difference between our Evo 10 GSR 5-speed and the RalliArt model. It's got a different wing on the back, but for all intents and purposes from the outside looks very, very similar to the Evo, but what actually is hidden on the inside is effectively it's based on the non-turbo Lancer lower spec version, and it's effectively a non-turbo Lancer upgraded. It's certainly not what we would call a Evo Lancer downgraded, and you'll see as we progress through all these photos some pretty significant differences. And just from the photo to start with, you'll notice that it looks like a normal Evo on the outside, but as you get closer on the inside, you'll see what I'm talking about. And just a little thing is, even down to the petrol cap covers, they're a different shape. So obviously on the back it's got the push button tailgate with the RalliArt stick-on badge and logo. From the back you'll notice how dramatically different the wing is to the Evo model. Still looks good. In some ways, as a driver in Evo, this wing actually might be a little bit more nicer to drive in traffic, because looking at the back of the Evo all the time, the wing is certainly in your field of vision when you're looking out the rear view mirror. And of course it's got the classic twin outlet tailpipe, reflectors in the bumper bar, and high mount stoplight. From the side you'll notice it looks pretty similar as well, with the Evolution bonnet, aluminium, with the vents and the bonnet scoop in the middle for the turbo at the back of the engine. Not so sure whether I like the wheels or not, but again, obviously Mitsubishi tried pretty hard to make this substantially different to the Evolution models. From the front, obviously same thing. I'm not so sure I'm too fussy about the chrome trim around the grille area, but obviously beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And you can obviously see from the side a lot of similar components to the Evo, and of course the diagonal view from the back, again pretty similar other than the wing. From a nitty-gritty point of view, looking underneath the rear suspension is where things start to dramatically change, and you can see the differences between this and our other video where we show the suspension on our Evo. At the front suspension you'll see again some effectively same layout, but obviously using a lot of different components. That's the front lower control arm looking from the front, and then of course we come around to the side and looking at the drive shaft. You can see the bottom of the upright and the inside of the caliper just on the left hand side where the wheel rim is. And we move around and have a look at the nitty-gritties from the underside of the car. You'll notice the catalytic converter, when you compare it to the Evo, is different. Although it's pretty huge in size, there is a small design change there as well, although for the untrained eye might not be immediately obvious. Rear muffler assembly is similar to the Lancer, but again it is not the same part. Of course twin outlet model as well. The interior, as you would expect of a slightly lower spec car, the interior is nowhere near as good as the Recaro seats that come factory standard. And looking at the dash, you'll see very, very similar layout to the Evo models. This particular one, unfortunately in Australia at the moment, we're still only getting it with the dual clutch SST electronic shift manual transmission, or semi-automatic gearbox as some people call it. Point alone, it's interesting, the car doesn't come with super sport mode. It's only got normal and sport mode that you can be changed, and the shift pattern mode. You don't of course have the launch control mode, which is a factory option in the Evo model that comes with that transmission. So obviously Mitsubishi again have probably the same transmission. I believe early reports of ratios are a little bit different, but of course pretty similar to the Evo, and I've obviously down-spec'd it again. You'll notice the dash is very similar layout, but of course some of the controls and buttons obviously vary a bit. The really good thing is it's got the excellent control features on the centre of the steering wheel as well, which I've become quite used to in my Evo model. Moving around to the back of the car, you'll notice one really obvious thing is when you're looking in the boot or the trunk area, hip hip hooray, the car actually comes with a spare wheel. Now this is a bit of a surprise to me as an owner of an Evo model, because the Evo model doesn't come with a spare wheel at all. All you do is get a container of goo and an air compressor to blow it up into the 18-inch wheels. So of course the wheels on this model are nowhere near as big as the Evo Lancer. So Mitsubishi obviously found their way fit to supply a space saver wheel with, of course, the jack on the right and the obligatory toolkit on the left. You'll see by the pictures of the wheels, the brakes are obviously nowhere near as big. These are the front brakes, nowhere near as big as the Evo. A close-up of the caliper. Then again, looking at the rear brakes, not as big as the Evo as well, and a close-up of the caliper as well. So moving forward to the nitty-gritties, obviously turbocharged Myvec engine, doesn't have the red garnish on the top of the rocker cover, but of course, like the Evo model, you can remove that and have a closer look at the engine underneath by simply pulling it off. It's not actually bolted down. Fairly similar layout to the Evo, turbos at the back, inlet manifold at the front, map sensor. One of the big things in the engine bay that has changed though is the effective layout of the air intake, and you'll see in this long photo the intercooler piping's got slightly different flexible tubing as opposed to the Evo model. The air intake effectively is in exactly the same place, but the really big surprise is obviously now the air cleaner is actually right at the back of the engine bay, as opposed to the Evo model, which is in a forward location. But of course they can't move it too much further in the forward location because, as you'll see in the left of that shot there, underneath it is actually the battery. So the battery is now in the Lancer RalliArt model under the bonnet, whereas in the Evo it's actually in the boot. So of course they've had to change the air intake design system completely to accommodate that. You'll notice in this shot it's got a plastic blow-off valve, a bit different location again to the Lancer Evo, which is located at the rear of the engine bay, and you can see a completely different plumbing arrangement, and you can just see there in the forward shot the position of the battery and the ECU to the right of that near the strut tower. The other thing which probably would come as no surprise, and you'll see in this photo, is the front mount intercooler. Now it's nowhere near as big as the Evo model. Effectively I would say it's less than half. It doesn't even cover the whole width of the front grille, and if you look very carefully you'll see the size of it, and it is actually not much bigger than what you can see there. It's sort of a little bit down below the lower lip of the bumper bar and a little bit higher than the back of that number plate, but effectively about the same capacity as the top mount intercooler on a WRX. And of course, as you'd expect, it's Mitsubishi have got to do some certain things to down-spec the car. It's not as sharp on its handling. It's still got a lot of the factory Evo fitted stability control features, the AYC and things like that, but obviously programmed differently. The car's got a hell of a lot more body roll, and it's a lot more compliant ride. But after we get our hands on the tuning using the Ecutech software and convert the ECU into a fully adjustable ECU, I think this car is going to certainly give, in its enhanced mode, a Evo 10 standard model a pretty good runs for its money. I think Mitsubishi should be certainly looking very, very hard at releasing it with the 5-speed model. There you have it. For more information, obviously you can refer our website on the following links, mrtperformance.com.au. I look forward to receiving your feedback, make some comments on our online forums, and of course there's a lot more of technical information and resource material on the whole Mitsubishi. I'm Brett Middleton, thanks for listening and of course watching. We'll update you soon with some more updates and info on the Mitsubishi Lancer RalliArt model.